Hey everyone, welcome back. Ready for a deep dive?
Definitely. Always up for a good deep dive.
Great. So we're looking at Zimbabwe today.
Interesting. Always interesting, Zimbabwe. What aspect are we focusing on?
We're going to be looking at financial planning, specifically funeral plans in Zimbabwe.
Okay. So kind of planning for the future, but also dealing with some sensitive issues.
Exactly. And, it might not seem like the most cheerful topic at first glance.
Right.
But trust me on this, there's actually a surprising amount of, positivity, I guess, woven into all of this.
Okay, I'm intrigued. How so?
Well, you see, we're really going to be talking about resilience and celebrating hard work and even the power of family and community.
Oh, that's fascinating. I'm already starting to see how this connects to something bigger than just, finances.
Right. It goes way deeper than that.
Yeah.
So the specific plan we're looking at is offered by a company called Zimnot. It's called the Gadziriro Lungiselelo USD Funeral Plan.
Wow, that's a mouthful.
Yeah, it's a long one.
What's it all about?
Basically, it provides a lump sum payout in US dollars when a covered person dies.
Okay, so it's a way to ensure that even with everything going on, there's some financial security for the family.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's particularly important in the Zimbabwean context.
Right, because their economy has seen some tough times, hasn't it?
Yeah, for sure. Inflation, currency fluctuations, all that stuff, it makes planning for the future really, really difficult.
Absolutely. So having a plan that pays out in USD like this one must provide a sense of stability.
That's exactly it. It's like a safety net in a way, but it's more than that.
How so?
Well, I kept noticing this phrase in the materials we were given. Your hustle, your story, celebrating you.
Your hustle, like celebrating hard work.
Yeah. And it got me thinking, how does a funeral plan, tie into that?
That is interesting. It's not the first thing that springs to mind with a funeral plan.
Right. But it makes sense when you think about the cultural context.
Oh, tell me more.
Well, from what I gathered, there's this deep respect for hard work in Zimbabwean culture.
It makes sense. People have to be resilient, especially given the economic challenges.
Exactly.
Right.
So this plan, it's not just seen as a safety net, but as a way to honor someone's legacy,
I see. A way to acknowledge the effort they put into building a life for themselves and their family.
Precisely. And speaking of family, I was struck by how much this plan emphasizes family support.
Well, family is everything in so many cultures. How does it play out here?
Well, it allows you to cover your parents, even extended family members.
Oh, wow. So it's really acknowledging those broader family ties.
Exactly. It's not just about the individual, it's about the collective.
That's quite something. And do you know if that kind of collective responsibility is common in Zimbabwe?
It seems to be. The source material actually mentioned this tradition where families contribute to a communal fund.
A communal fund? What's that for?
To support each other in times of need. Like if someone passes away or there's a medical emergency.
Ah, I see. So it's like a built-in safety net for the community.
Exactly. And this funeral plan seems to build on that existing tradition,
Makes sense, providing that security, but in a more structured way, perhaps?
Yeah, and it even goes a step further. There's this feature where someone else can take over the payments if the original payer dies.
Oh, wow. So even in death, the community support continues? That's amazing.
Right. It's really incredible.
It really speaks to the strength of those community bonds. So it's about more than just financial support then, isn't it? It's about that shared responsibility, looking out for one another.
Definitely. It's like a safety net woven from those community ties.
Yeah.
And, speaking of connecting with people, I read that Zimnot is considering showcasing real-life stories.
Real-life stories, like testimonials from people who've benefited from the plan.
Exactly.
That's actually a really powerful marketing strategy.
You think so?
Definitely. People connect with stories, especially when it comes to something as sensitive as death.
That's true. It makes it so much more real.
Exactly. It's one thing to hear about the features of a plan, but it's another thing entirely to hear how it's actually helped someone in their time of need.
I totally agree. And you know what else makes this plan stand out? It's flexibility.
Oh, in what way?
They have different coverage levels to choose from. It starts from USD 1,000 and goes up to USD 5,000. Plus, they have different payment options.
Oh, so it's customizable to what people can afford. That's great.
Yeah, you can pay monthly, quarterly. There are a few different options.
That's really important. It makes the plan accessible to a much wider range of people.
Absolutely. And it reinforces Zimnot's commitment to supporting all Zimbabweans, not just a select few.
It sounds like they're really trying to make a difference. This is so much more than just a financial product, isn't it?
It really is. I mean, we started talking about funeral plans, but we ended up exploring the resilience of the Zimbabwean people.
Right. It speaks to their values, their sense of community, and their incredible ability to find ways to celebrate life even while acknowledging death.
Exactly. And pretty amazing, actually.
It really is. And, it makes you think, could this approach work in other parts of the world? Could we all benefit from weaving those threads of community, resilience, and celebration into our own lives? It's something to consider, isn't it?
Absolutely. It's definitely given me a lot to think about. Well, on that note, thanks for joining me on this deep dive, everyone. It's been an eye-opening exploration of Zimbabwe, its people, and the unexpected ways a funeral plan became a celebration of life and resilience.